Okay, you read the damn thing, so what I'm getting at is this. You can make it however the hell you want. It's yours. Period. Look at Trauma, a movie company that's been around for a long time. Lloyd Kaufman runs it. He's put out books of how to do stuff, how to make movies, everything else on a low budget, blah, 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 blah. But if you see one of his movies, you know it's one of his movies. What I mean is if Trauma made it, now if they put it out, because he does choose ones to put out through distribution as well. But if they made it, you can tell that it's a Trauma movie, even if he did not direct it. Now he's directed most of them. So there you go. If you are watching a Trauma movie, you know it's a Trauma movie. If you're watching something with Bruce Campbell, you know it's a Bruce Campbell thing. You know, I don't care if it's Burn Notice. I don't care if it's Evil Dead. I don't care what it is. If he's in it, you know it's one of his. He stamps it every time. I'm not saying you can't be versatile and everything else, but all I'm getting at is you can do your thing, whatever that how that thing is. Um, Phillips, he was a comedian. I believe he's from Michigan, or was, or I don't know if he's still around or ever, but he was a different kind of guy that stood out all on his own. His voice, his demeanor, everything stood out about him. If you have seen the movie UHF, he's the guy that cuts himself with a table saw. That guy. Yeah. And he was making money back in the day, doing what he wanted to do. So anyone that says, hey, can't do it, blah, 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 you're full of shit. All right. Just, you can claim it, you can stamp it, you can make it your own, you can say it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Tarantino does that all the time. Um, Leslie Nielsen, Bobcat Goldthwait, anything that he writes and directs, you can pretty much tell it's his because something horrible is going to happen in the first 5 minutes. Then it's making up for it the rest of the time. That's the way that he operates. So Eric Powell, he is a comic artist, comic writer, all that. The Goon, which is just a bunch of different shit thrown together. Zombies with werewolves, with gangsters, with all that shit. So what I'm saying is you can make whatever you want to make. If it's yours, you may as well claim it and make it yours. Make it the way that you want it to be because nobody else is going to do that shit. There's a lot of people, me included, that at different times have said, well, I'd love to see this, I'd love to see that. Well, guess what? Nobody was making it. We were all just saying it. So what's going on? I don't know how to say that name correctly, so I'm not going to try because I don't want to slaughter it. But really, like I said, all it really comes down to is claiming it. Because what's the worst that's going to happen, right? You don't put it out, that is what it is. You don't need to put stuff out. You know what I'm saying? You can make whatever you want. All right, Maxie. But you can make whatever you want, and there's always going to be at least what's going on. At least one person out there on the face of the planet that wants to see what you want to see, the way you want to see it, or hear it, or whatever it is, whatever you're making, right? And that's just the way it is. There's probably a lot more than one, and a lot of people just won't really. What's the best way to put it? Give me 1 second. But this is the awesome, Maxie. But if you want to see, if you understand what you want to see, there's only one way to do it, and that's to make it your own. Period. I've done a lot in my life. I'm 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? I started and ran a magazine all by myself. I've been a musician off and on 26 years, 24, 26, something like that. Just a lot of different stuff, right? And with it, anytime that I've been part of a project that's decided to do things the way that everyone else does, no one remembers and it doesn't last long. I've been in bands where I've written the stuff on guitar, we practice it. I'll be away for some reason. They'll have a practice without me. They'll rewrite everything. You know what I'm saying? This has happened only a few times in my life. And then they change me to bass. Okay, that is what it is. But I don't stay in those kind of situations because I don't get to stamp it. Red, basically what I do is I let people know you can make whatever you want to make it when it comes to art stuff. That's really it. That you don't need to show it, that you don't need to have the talent or anything else, because it's the truth. The reason I do this is because a lot of people want to start stuff and they never do. A lot of people want to complete something and they never do. And I don't mean like complete some huge thing. I mean, some people feel like they haven't completed anything, and just completing one small thing, no matter how small a project is, that can really change your outlook and change the way that you go about things. And I'm not trying to do this as a motivational speaker or anything else. I'm just saying this as fact. I've seen this happen with my brother. I've seen this happen with good friends of mine. I've seen this happen with people that I've just talked to about this before and shit like that. That's really what I do and why I do it. Plus, when I was growing up, like I said, I'm 40. So, meaning that people weren't as supportive, that it wasn't as easy to find out how to do art stuff. It wasn't as cheap or free as it is now or anything like that. So you can make whatever you want to make. And since you can, since it's not going to cost you anything more than likely or very little, why not do it your way? That's all I'm getting at with this. You know, because there's a lot of people. When I was younger, I was a little bit like this too at times, where I wanted to do what other people were doing because I thought, you know, that's what I wanted to do. When it wasn't, it was just what was popular at the time or whatever, or what I could get people to jump on and, you know, do stuff with. That's all it was. And now I refuse to do that. Like, if I make something, it's mine. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Period. If I'm part of something, it's all of ours. But I'm gonna put my stamp on it, and then and I'm gonna let everyone else put their stamp on it. Because when that happens, it's gonna be a lot of different things meeting. I don't care if it's a movie, I don't care if it's a story, I don't care if it's game design, I don't care what the hell it is, right? You can marry those things together, but it's still gonna stick out more. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, Trauma, their movie company. If you see a Trauma, you know it's a Trauma movie, period. Anything with Bruce Campbell, you know what that is already, if you know the actor at all. Full Moon Entertainment or Pictures or whatever it's called, right? Alfred Hitchcock, you always know an Alfred Hitchcock movie if you see one. Period. Eric Powell, you know his stuff if you see it. Same thing with Bobcat Goldthwait or Leslie Nielsen. That's all I'm getting at. Make whatever you want to make, however you want to make it.